Hey everybody, welcome to Radical Books and Activists. This is going to be a shorter show than usual because I'm traveling. Are you going to photobomb my YouTube stream? My son is here. Get out of here, punk. Come say hi. Anyway, so today we're going to talk about reproductive rights. We're going to talk about mothers and spirit mothers. We're supposed to have the show last Sunday, but it was Mother's Day, and I made a commitment to more self-care and taking Sundays off. And I actually just took a Sunday off because it was less stress. But I'm not going to stop doing the show. It's just that, I'm committed to taking care of myself. But hey, welcome, querida.
Hi. It's good to take care of yourself. It's important.
And you're going to have to forgive the stream. It might be a little wonky. We've had a lot of protests, more protests this weekend, advocating for reproductive rights. Have you been able to go to any of the marches?
I actually can't because I'm immune compromised. But I'm reading all the material online. I'm making sure that others who can go know about what's going on. So I'm trying to do my best from behind a computer.
Yeah. So Grant says, good evening, Professor. Glad to hear you're doing all right. Good on you for taking time off. Yeah, it's not easy for me, Grant. Not by a long shot. Grant's going to be on the show in the future. So one of the things that, I went to a rally on May 1st. That was probably the last rally I've been to, but there were a lot of people that were advocating, not just a wide range of things that the laws would change, right? And I was telling someone, like, I'm a devout Roman Catholic, and I would never do that, but I'm not going to judge people who do. Oh, was it today? Oh my gosh, Grant, I'm so sorry. It's probably better if you come on next week. I'll send you the link when that happens, Mijo, because I had to back up the show for today because I didn't do it last week. We'll reconnect. Plus, it's not midterms, finals. I don't even know what day of the week it is. So, what have you been reading up on, though?
So today, I saw that Oklahoma is going to most likely be the first state to go completely non-abortion even before anything can happen with Roe v. Wade. Right now, they've already followed Texas into being at 6 weeks at the fetal cardiac. Once that can be read, they can't have abortion. So that's going to create, and this is the term used was abortion desert. And that's really because of Texas and Oklahoma.
Right.
People in Texas, that Oklahoma is where they can reach. So now that they won't be able to, that is creating a huge issue for even the medications that are used to make sure that a miscarriage is complete or an ectopic pregnancy.
Right. Which are really dangerous.
Yeah. Those medications are being refused at most pharmacies, even when they are being prescribed expressly for completion of a miscarriage early in the pregnancy.
Right.
Or to treat ectopic pregnancy, which will kill a woman.
Right.
If it continues.
Yeah. And the other thing, too, is that like other birth control, other things will be taken away that women aren't aware of. They're just thinking abortion, abortion, abortion. But and then what would happen? Like, I remember one time I had a miscarriage, pardon me, and they had to do a procedure, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there was no heartbeat. So what? Is that going to be allowed now, or is that going to be not allowed, right? Because technically, it's in medical abortion, right? Even though, you know what I mean, like if the baby didn't die when it was alive, but are they going to say no? You know what I mean? Like, wait till the baby comes back. I don't know, man. Oh, that's the thing. And one of the other things that was raised by Howard Ehrman, who was a assistant healthcare commissioner to Harold Washington. He remembers what it was like prior to abortions being legal, and women would try to get abortions that were not medically, assisted, and they would die. The last 18 women that he saw die were all women of color, Black and Latina. And so I just think that people really need to take a more humane look at this. I know it's that they're so, like I said, I'm a devout Roman Catholic, so I hear the counter arguments all the time. But Well, what do you think about that? I'll let you go on.
Well, I mean, I I see this as an issue, of course. I think it's really important as someone who knows a lot of people who are chronically ill and medically frail, where it will where I know people who are using contraceptives to make sure that they're not going to get pregnant, who, if those contraceptives fail and somehow they do get pregnant, without the ability to um, take a pill early on or do something, or even people who are celibate, um, for various reasons, who, if they were to get assaulted and would need Plan B, um,
Right.
you know, but it's not just that. One of the arguments that I finally saw on TikTok today was, um, this eventually becomes no more DNRs. Doctors being able to refuse a DNR because that's a pro-life argument.
Hmm.
And that a lot of this fight comes down to, you can fight the fight with your money. Like, the companies that are spending the most money toward the current, what are called trigger laws, the laws that will go into effect to support Roe v. Wade being taken out as soon as it's out. The top places I read, on Business Insider, are AT&T, CVS, Walmart. These aren't the only ones, but some of the most accessible. Like some of the most frequent used. AT&T spent more than $1 million toward that. CVS, Comcast, Walmart, UPS, more than 150,000 each. And so, boycotting or refusing to give money to
Right.
those is one way that people who can't get out there and protest are able to. And I mean, I understand sometimes. I mean, I've heard, but I haven't read, that United Healthcare is even backing some of this. I can't substantiate my source because I could not find it
Right. Right.
anywhere.
Right.
But yeah, I mean,
That's,
it's
we
scary.
talk about the motives because, I mean, last time I was talking to, we were talking about race and how the country wants to roll back to what it was like before the civil rights movement. And I had a Greg Pond. He's a poet from, what's he from? He's from another state, but we've done some collaborative work online. And he has a theory that the reason people are against abortion is because they're threatened by the increase in minority population. And I thought that's an interesting argument. Um, but I really don't think at the end of the day it's really about saving babies. Because
No,
if that were the case, why do they let kids be in cages? How can they advocate for families being separated? Like, why don't they provide the health care, the housing, and the jobs that single moms need, the support they need, so they can raise their children? Um,
right,
and that's the thing where, like, I get really aggravated by the contradictions, of course, you know. And I mean, I have a 7-year-old daughter. I have to think about her future too, right? Like, one of the things you said, it hit home with me because for a long time I was celibate, but I was taking the pill because I needed to. Medically, I had to,
yeah,
right? Or else I would be in a lot of pain and basically I had to take iron because I was anemic all the time. It would have been worse had it not been on the pill. And I was on the pill for a really long time. And I think that there are other reasons why people do these things. And I remember I got into an argument one time because this woman was arguing with me that I was advocating for abortion because I was saying people should be able to take the morning after pill. But the morning after pill just prevents the egg from being fertilized. Like, there's no fetus, nothing. For
exactly.
me,
There
and
is
that
no
argument was really
conception.
like, I was like, what the hell kind of ridiculous argument is that? I feel like there's a lot of misinformation too that's put out there on purpose. Um, but it's a complicated issue, though I will say, well, it's complicated, but it doesn't have to be quite so complicated. People just really understood what the facts are, right? And what are they going to do after? What's Oklahoma going to do? What's Texas going to do when they see the increase deaths of women who are pregnant?
Yeah, and like right now we're going through a formula shortage. that is so much worse in places that are low income. Like, my girlfriend has had no problems finding formula, but that's because she lives in an affluent suburb.
Mm,
So she can go down to the shop and they have plenty.
right.
But and there's even someone who works in the doctor's office who makes sure that everyone has formula. And the moms who don't have the money to get, there's someone who makes sure that they're signed up for programs. But in the places where they have food deserts and, yeah, everything is bought at a convenience store because there are no supermarkets,
Right.
those are the places. And so the places where the women are struggling to even just survive, now they want them to all be pregnant or not have intimate relationships. Like, that's a ridiculous concept to me.
Right. Right.
And I've lived in low income areas, and I've lived in areas where I was lucky enough to have a car, so I drove 40 minutes out to go to a grocery store, and I was lucky because I could do that.
Right. Right.
But I can't imagine being a mom in those places,
Right.
especially without transport. Like, how these people who are making the laws are so far out of
Oh
touch with
yeah,
that.
so out of touch. I think so too. And I know this it's cliche, but look, why are men making decisions about women's bodies, right? And I mean now it's even more awful. But that's absolutely right. I was actually surprised Fox News covered it, the formula shortage, but they did it to ding on Biden. You know, I can't imagine having a baby under these conditions. First of all, with the constant fear of the pandemic and babies getting infected, but that right there. And they were saying, oh, they're worried that people are gonna just create their own formula. Well, what are they supposed to do? You know what I mean? If they're not
Yeah.
nursing their kids, what they want the kids to starve to death? Like really? They should be investing money or figuring out alternatives like soy formula or something else that they can have access to, that it's going to offer the nutrition that kids need.
Or
But
supplemental programs to bring it in from, like, Canada. Canada does not have a formula shortage.
yeah,
And there are some grassroots programs going on right now to, like, help women, or families, I should say families, to order it from, like, Amazon Canada, and then help to, like, pay the extra postage and things
right.
like
It's not
that.
so bad. I mean, but even that requires that you have Wi-Fi, a computer,
Yeah,
that you know how to order through Amazon, which not everybody knows how to do. You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
But yeah, but I think that it's going to be up to us to be able to solve these problems because for whatever reason, the federal government, the state government, which really should be more keen on helping people, is not offering the support that children need. And or babies need. But that to me is something to raise as a contradiction too, right? Like, look, if you really give a shit about babies, why don't you provide the formula? Spend some
Yeah.
of the money, and take some money out of the over police budget that seems to be across every state. So I think it's possible. Um, but this country's the priorities are so messed up, man. I mean, I say all these things are interconnected. All these attacks are interconnected, and we have to take care of ourselves. We have to keep putting pressure on the government to do what's right. I mean, and that's why the protests are important to educate people. But holy crap! I mean, everything you can imagine, voting rights. This just seems like an awful lot. Right now, we're also fighting budget cuts, which are really important for our school kids. Right? Again,
Oh,
if
yeah.
you really care about kids, why are you cutting the money of the poorest black and brown schools that need the most money instead of murdering schools? This even my kids where they go to school. I was looking at the spreadsheet and I was like, oh yeah, that's awesome. They only got $28,000. We can recover that over $300,000, right? And you mean to tell me
Yeah.
that it's just But anyway, so hey, we're also here to celebrate mothers. So happy late Mother's Day. I hope you had a good Mother's Day with your daughter or Father's Day. Well, you identify as a father, so
Yeah, but
happy
we had
happy
a great
happy
time.
Mother's
So
Day. Happy Mother's Day to your girlfriend then.
she had a great Mother's
Yeah,
Day.
you guys do.
We celebrated it with her family because, she's currently lives with her parents. for support with the baby
Of
and
course,
everything, because
but the state
we
doesn't provide the support you need, right?
yeah. So I was able to surprise her. I came down early from where I'm been living, and I got a bouquet of flowers, and I took it to where the baby is watched by her sibling's husband. And I was like, okay, here's the card, here's the flowers. And then I like went to the other house because I have to travel for medical stuff. And so when she went to pick up the baby, it was like the flowers, and it was like, I tried to get the date right because it was a Thursday. So it was like the baby gave her flowers, but just a couple days early.
Aw,
And then I put together a photo spread that
aw.
on a frame that said family. So she really loved that. Like they have it up in the kitchen and everything.
Oh, that's great.
It was really awesome, and I'm starting to get to know her family, which is awesome. Because the first time that we were together, I didn't get a chance to do that. I didn't do it right. I didn't get to know her family and stuff. So I'm like really excited, and I'm already looking forward to Father's Day. She has not hinted what she has in store for me, but she has said that there's something. So I'm
That's awesome.
hoping like
That's awesome.
activity. We're our daughter is going to be 6 months old next Sunday.
That's a great turning point age.
It
That's when
is.
they learn how to roll on their bellies, and babies are awesome, dude. I won't lie. I mean, that's the thing that I love babies, um, and children in general. You know, that's why I think I like to teach little kids too. But they're so amazing, and they're little sponges. They're absorbing everything, and you know.
Yeah. How was
But
your Mother's Day?
that's awesome. Oh, you know what? I was out of town, and this is why I canceled the show. And Grant, I'm sorry if you're still watching. We'll get you on next Sunday, where I'll actually have good Wi-Fi. But we went to one of our favorite places, which is where we're on our. Here, let me show you this view. I don't know if you can see this. We're actually at this place that has right by the lake,
Oh,
so it's really nice. We just found it today, and I was hoping the Wi-Fi was okay, so it kind of is, but it's coming in and out. So we went to Galena, which is one of my favorite places, and it was the first Sunday I'd taken off. I kid you not, in 30 years.
oh
I don't
wow.
take days off. Um, oh yeah, sorry, Grant. I'll have to give you a gift here. I'll send you a book or something. Hey, Colette. Yes, 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 please. And in fact, we would uplift that. Colette says this is a great discussion, but for sure, we definitely need to post those resources and help each other out. So many mutual aid funds right now too. But anyway, so yeah, it was really great, and the kids wanted to watch the Marvel movie, so I caved in. I really wanted to see magical creatures, but I think it was out by that point. So we watched the movie. And then out of rando play, my husband is a real chatty Cathy, like super chatty. So we ended up going to this sustaining farm, and the owner was like, "Yeah, come pet the animals." And I got this awesome picture of the chicken on my arm, and I got to pet
Oh,
all the goats, and they had this little baby pig that let me pet it. So it was just awesome. It just like took it up another notch. And then the kids ended up getting horseback riding lessons, which by the way, as part of the self care, I have actually learned. I'm trying to practice Shaolin like pose, so I'm not so tense and get these headaches. If you ever want to try it, this is I don't know if you're physically able to, but it's called a horse pose. But apparently, if you ride horses, it really helps with your upper body tension because
oh
all the energy goes to your legs. So I'm like, bro, I want to get because I used to think it was a bougie sport, but if it helps the stress and tension, shoot, I'm gonna start riding horses. There's different places around Chicago. Yeah, so we also wanted to uplift spirit mothers because one of the things, I mean, I've had spirit mothers too. It's kind of a bad transition, but like what Kitty has talked about the experiences with her mother that have been horrible, and Misa was raised by a single mother, and I still have my mom and dad. But I think you know, even though my mom tried her best, she has issues too, right? That I'm actually more aware of now that I see what depression does to a person, like severe depression and whatnot. But I do think that it's important to uplift our spirit mothers who have been our guides, and continue to nurture us in that way. Um, did you have a spirit mother?
I do. My best friend, his parents are definitely like his mom. She like and she gets it. She really understands like what I went through with my mom and why I don't really like consider a lot of the upbringing that I had. Like I don't connect with it anymore. And so like I can't even, it's hard for me to even imagine that my childhood was mine because there was such a break for me from like once I was away from that. And so it's like I've learned so much about being a parent now, but before that it was just about being like a more functional person, learning to forgive people because
Oh
I
yeah.
spent a lot of years with bad coping mechanisms.
Mm-hmm.
And like my best friend and I, we've never dated. So there's never been kind of that situation. So with his family, it's always been like his siblings are my siblings. And
Aw, that's awesome.
so I have that whole like the spirit of that in that family, but his mom especially, like she was the first one like that like I really got to ask a lot of questions about like with the whole idea of like she initially even kind of pushed the idea of learning to like forgive people in my past, even almost before I was ready for that
Yeah, yeah,
conversation, but
yeah, yeah.
that helped me be ready.
Right. No, but that's such an important step, and uh, I had to do the same thing. And you read about it, you hear it in church, but until you actually do it and practice forgiveness of yourself too. My parents taught me to feel guilty about every fucking thing you can think about. I mean, just saying bad words, thinking impure thoughts, you name it. And what does that do? It creates a culture of fear, disenfranchisement. And it's the opposite of what religion is supposed to be, right? But when I figured out to be forgiving of myself, I swear to God, I went through a period during COVID where I apologized to everybody and told them everything wrong that I had done. They didn't even remember, Kitty.
Oh,
But I was carrying all that crap, right? And other stuff too, like I internalized people's ideas of beauty too. I think we talked about this. I'd forgive that and just let it go. I'm not saying I'm the most attractive model on the planet, but just letting go of trash, letting go of that mental shit stuff that weighs you down, including forgiving people who cause past traumas. I think it's one of the most important things you can do. It's probably the bravest thing you can do too. And I don't want that to sound cliche. I just think it can be a very empowering way of starting the healing process. But I'll tell you who my spirit mother is, because she. When we talk about a strong woman, my auntie is my dad's sister, and she's always upbeat and gives great wisdom and never ever puts me down and listens to when I talk to her. It's very important to me, right? But she had 14 kids at home by herself.
oh
And I'm
wow.
like, damn, without any nothing, no assistance, nothing. And she is one of the sweetest, kindest, most supportive, non-judgmental people I have ever met. So I love her to bits. Yeah, so I think it's important to let these women into your lives, or if they're another gender that identifies as a nurturing mother. I think that's important because you're not always gonna get what you want from your family. In fact, I think I told you, like, I don't talk to my little sister anymore because she accused my husband of things that were terrible, and I'm just like, what? Not like molesting kids or whatever, but just things that weren't true. And so it's okay sometimes to cut ties when people are toxic,
Yeah.
and that also takes courage and strength. But I think once you do it and you feel that sense of peace, you've done what's right. I think so. And I don't say I cut ties with a lot of people, but sometimes you just have to, dude. Especially when they're hurting your family or your inner peace. I think anyway. But spirit mothers are important. I hope I get to be a spirit mother to someone, but I guess it's maybe early yet. I don't know. But yeah. So, well, you know what, sister? I'd say we keep fighting.
Yeah,
And
that's for sure.
yeah, and then we'll do a fuller show. So next time where's my brother over here? He's not my brother. When Grant comes on, sorry about that, Grant. It's the end of semester, dude. I got my wires crossed. Well, we weren't supposed to go out of town either, but my husband's like, let's go out of town this weekend. I was like, I'm not gonna say no to sequestering myself to grade papers in a hotel room. The when Grant comes on, the discussion is going to be on automation and the economy, which are two of my favorite topics. So
Ooh.
yeah, that'll be dope. Just hey, and to give props to Grant, he's one of the few conservative people that I can actually talk to without wanting to throw a chair at him. And I'm like,
right
we
on.
lots of conversation. Yeah, I feel bad because he totally. Well, we'll send him a book. Hopefully, he'll appreciate it. His apology and. But yeah, when guests come on, normally what I do is that I send them the graphic for the show and confirm and send them a link. If I don't do that, then I missed a step. And Colette, it's always wonderful to have you here. We gotta get Colette on the show too. But oh, we got a new comment here. Let's see, it's a new comment. I have no idea what that means. He says he's an adherent head, so we may end up clutching word shifts. But oh shoot, you know what? I don't mind. I don't mind having opposing viewpoints as long as we can talk about things, and it's even within our ideas. When even if we're on the similar political spectrum, we don't always agree,
Mm-hmm.
and that's fine. I think that's how you hone your argument. That's how you hone your pen too,
Yeah.
for sure. You should have heard my speech, dude. I gave the dopest speech at a banquet on Thursday because it came from the heart and I addressed the scholars. But it was probably one of the best speeches I've ever gave, and I wouldn't have gotten to that point if I didn't just freestyle it so much now. I'd be like, yeah, I'll speak at your thing, I'll do it. Like I said, never miss an opportunity. We didn't have any poetry for you this time, but we're gonna see if we can get some good economics poetry next time. Kitty, I want to thank you again for being so wonderful. See you again at 4 o'clock next time, and it'll be a little longer, but the weather's getting kind of bad. Let me show you this weather. Just a little parting beauty here for y'all to see. What? It's getting super cloudy.
But it's so pretty.
It is. The house is across the way, bro. I'm telling you. Whew. All right. Well, thank you for tuning in. If you like the show, please like and subscribe. If you want to come on the show, comment. And we'll be looking forward to you next week. Thanks again, Kitty. See ya. Peace.
Enjoy.
I will. Bye-bye.